Right, hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So a whole heap of you have asked me about my predictions for Cyber Weekend. And I will carry out in the same format as I did my predictions for July 4th. In fact, you can actually see them historically. So these are the actual 2020 Cyber Weekend offers. Then we have July 4th, 2021 predictions, 2021 July 4th actual offers, and these are going to be my predictions. I will leave a link to this spreadsheet if you guys want to kind of like browse around just to be able to see historically what we had in last Cyber Weekend, what we had in last July 4th. But let's just go with it bit by bit. So with Peter Parker Wallet, we already have seen Tier 5 Basic and Tier 2 Alpha being sold for $10 basically. I think they sold us $50 for 5 Tier 5 Basics, 5 Tier 2 Alphas, and some other stuff. So I think because always Cyber Weekend kind of pushes the price point, and we all expect there to be something more. And once we see something in Cyber Weekend, we do not necessarily expect those same things offered again for as low of a price. So I do think that this time around we could see an actual Tier 5 Basic for $5 and as well 5,000 6-star shards. For comparison, in July 4th offers, it was 18,000 Tier 5 Basic fragments and 3,000 6-star shards, so it's not too far off from that. Just kind of like up the numbers some. Star-Lord's loot bag, I think we're going to see a fairly large amount of Tier 3 Alphas. I think it's going to be like 3, maybe 4 Tier 3 Alphas. It was Tier 2 Alphas. It was 1 Tier 2 Alpha last year, but I think 1 Tier 2 Alpha in July. But I think since value of Tier 2 Alpha has definitely gone down and they are easier and easier to acquire. As a good example, even though our Glory store feels outdated by many people and many items, you can get like 5 Tier 2 Alphas, for fairly cheap in terms of Glory. And then I think we're going to have something like 15% Tier 5 CC selector this time around, replace that 10% random Tier 5 CCs that we saw there. But as we always know, Kabam loves to kind of juggle these items, so it could very well be that, there is that Tier 3 Alphas end up being swapped with the Tier 5 Basic and stuff like that. You never know how they exactly toss those items in there. When it comes to Stark Briefcase, in July 4th, we had 5-star generic gems, which I do not think we're going to see here. I think it's high time we pretty much get rid of all 5-star items, and it was actually very surprising and disappointing to see those 5-star signature stones in that Stark suitcase. That was definitely one of the bigger complaints there, because it just felt really out of the place. And we had 35 6-star generic 6 stones and 10,000 6-star shards. I do think instead of 10,000 6-star shards, there are just going to be Nexus crystals, because we have been getting more and more Nexus. I think there's going to be thereabouts the same amount of 6 stones. The 6 stone amount actually has remained fairly stagnant. If you see here, then 2020 Cyber Weekend had the 35 6 stones in Panther. Then they moved the 6 stones down to Stark Briefcase, but kept the same amount. So I think similar thing is going to happen. I don't think the total amount of 6-star 6 stones is going to change drastically. I think in total we're going to end up getting like 120 to 170 signature stones in 6-star variety in between all the offers, somewhere of whom majority is going to come somewhere around here in that Stark Briefcase. I think that they have always done it. They kind of set amount of signature stones they want to give out in that July 4th, and then they just figure out where they're going to shove them in. But I think that amount is staying fairly flat at like 120 to 180 or something like that. And then there's probably going to be some bonus item like a Tier 5 Basic. Maybe this is a place to put in some Tier 4 CC selectors, or maybe Tier 2 Alphas or something like that. Then I do think that we're going to get 6-star class Nexus selectors lower down the scale. Last year we got them in Odins, but this year I think we're going to get them in Panthers, especially because we have had them in unit offers as well, and they just don't seem all that special. It's still 3 champions. It's 1 class, yes, but there is absolutely no guarantee that you will pull what you want or anything good at all. It's still 3 champions out of a very large pool of champions, and they're just not that impressive, I think. And I would have no problems or surprise seeing them in Black Panthers. And I think there's going to be something like 25% T5CC selectors and probably some T5 basics and T4 class catalyst crystals, since we stocked up Tier 2 alphas earlier here. And in general, I think right now in community at large, we have a fairly big T5 basic shortage. So hopefully these offers do address that. And that's maybe a bit of a wishful thinking, but I do hope that we get a fairly substantial amount of either Tier 5 basic fragments or rank up gems. So we're going to see whether that's true or not. Moving on to Odin, I think they're going to give us some new Nexus. It could be Abyss Nexus, it could be 5 champion Nexus, it could be 5 champion class Nexus, it could be 20-21 champion Nexus, something special, different, a bit more interesting, kind of like that big ticket item, which, you know, ultimately will still end up being one champion, but a crystal that appears to be much more impressive. In July 4th, we saw that 2020 6-star Nexus with 10 champions. So I think it could be something along the lines. I don't think it's going to necessarily be 2020 Nexus because, you know, a lot of people are chasing the newer 2021 champions and the year's nearly over. In fact, it could turn out to be 2021 Nexus because, you know, we know kind of the last champion that is going to get added. That is going to be Craven the Hunter, which is going to be the champion that's coming out in December. And this might be a way for somebody to get their first hands on them. Who knows? Then we have 1 to 2 6-star gem. She's, you know, fair play. And 50% Tier 5 CC selector. And some Tier 6 basic fragments and Tier 3 alpha fragments. And when it comes to the exact amounts of Tier 6 basics and Tier 3 alphas, you could say maybe it's a wishful thinking, because I think we might see full ones in the 10,000 unit offer of each. But if you take a look at it last year, we saw basically half a Tier 3 alpha and half of Tier 6 basic fragments here. And then when it comes to the purchase amounts, we could buy 27,000 Tier 3 alpha. So we basically saw one Tier 3 alpha for sale. And we saw nearly one Tier 6 basic for sale. We're clearly not going to see less of them. So judging by the previous years, I'd expect there to be about, you know, 1.2 to 1.6 of each catalyst in between all of the things combined. I don't expect 2 full catalysts, to be honest. I do expect there to be well over 1 of each available, because we already last year had a full Tier 3 alpha there given to us, because if we got 3 Odins, that was 27,000 Tier 3 alpha fragments, and then we had 22,500, so that would even out 47,500. Don't remember from top of my head exactly how many francs are in Tier 3 alpha catalyst. I think it's 45,000, so that would be 1 Tier 3 alpha plus already what we got last year. So one would kind of expect to see like 1.5. Doubt it would be much more than that. So I kind of think we're going to end up with about 1.5 of Tier 6 basics and Tier 3 alphas, somewhere along those lines, which is pretty much one of the most asked questions. How many Tier 6 basics and Tier 3 alphas do you think we're going to see? I think we're going to see thereabouts that. And yeah, so that is what I kind of think here. So these are probably going to be like, if we have full one here, then let's say, I don't know, 9,000 francs again. And, you know, we'll see what they are exactly. But I do expect these totals from one of the 10K bundles and here to add up to about 1.5 catalysts. And then we have the unit offers, which is obviously the most and only relevant thing for a ton of you who do not intend to spend any money at all, but have grinded out units for it. So I do think that this time around we're going to get about 10,000 6-star shards for 1K units. I hope we don't see any 5-star items there, but if we do, it is going to be some 5-star generic 6 stones or 5-star max sig gem that we have seen in past as well. A bit of Tier 5 CC and probably a 5-star generic gem. Again, ideally I would like not to see any 5-star items here, but that's just me. Some people might like them. Last year we saw like 25-star plus 5 generic 6 stones, 5,000 6-star shards, 5-star generic gem, and 5-star nexus. So 5-star generic gem I think is going to remain there. I think the 6-star shards are going to go up, and sprinkle in some tier 5 CC or tier 5 basics. 4K units, 30 6-star 6 stones. We already had 20 6-star 6 stones there for July 4th. Why not? Slight bump there. I think 6-star nexus, have absolutely no problem having it there for 4K units. About 50% tier 5 CC, either crystal or fragments or selector, and a bunch of tier 5 basics. I don't think we're going to see the tier 6 basics. I think it was kind of not necessarily an error. I think this was a item that they had to shove in here last year because they didn't add any tier 3 alpha tier 6 basics in the Odin. So it was kind of like to balance out the count. So I don't think we're going to see tier 6 basics here or tier 3 alpha. When it comes to 10K units, either it's going to be one bundle, obviously, or it could be 2 bundles. But the thing that's different always in between those bundles is that one is meant for kind of lower tier Thronebreaker players who are still building out their 6-star roster, who want to get more rank 2, rank 3 champions, and who are just kind of like focused on growing the roster in general. And then the other bundle is for those who chase the top tier resources and top tier rewards always, and the newest champions and stuff like that. So I do think that one of those gonna have in some rank up gem crystals, a random 6-star gem. I think this might be the first year when we can see 2 6-star awakening gems here. I think one of these, the one that's kind of like more for growing out your roster, is gonna have a 6-star awakening gem that's random, some rank up gem crystals that are probably random, probably some fancy 6-star nexus like we did before. We had that 2020 champion nexus. Could be something similar to that, and a bunch of generic 6-star 6 stones. And the other one is going to have the tier 6 basics and tier 3 alpha, which is going to be a must-have to all of the kind of like high prestige chasers and stuff like that. And then you're probably going to have some more 6 stones, maybe a tier 5 CC selector, and, maybe some featured, maybe 6-star shards or something. And then I do think we're going to see the same thing again with the 6-star generic awakening gem that we can buy for 3,000 units if you purchase all of the first 15,000 units worth of orders. So I don't expect to be blown away this time around. And I can also say exactly why that is. Very big part of me earlier in the year thought that we will have a new progression title by the time July 4th. By the time Cyber Weekend offers come out. I do think that was the original plan, to have the next progression level announced with either 7.2 or 7.3. I think it did not happen because of all of the issues, Kabam being understaffed, with the game going to absolute shitter and no controls working, and them having to put in a ton of resources there. Therefore, I think these offers could have and would have been significantly more crazy if we had that new progression title, and if there would be significantly smaller amount of people who actually get the top tier package offers. So then I think they would kind of like specifically try to make it more appealing for everybody to push. This time around, I don't think they're going to be that impressive. At the same time, I might be wrong, and we all know that Kabam has not really had the best year financially. Quarter by quarter, they are effectively 2 or 3 years back as a company. They earned significantly less every quarter than they did in the corresponding quarters in 2020, in 2019, and in some quarters even in 2018. They have been literally thrown 2 to 3 years back. Maybe they do try to bounce back with this, but we'll see what happens. As always, these are just my predictions. Take them with a grain of salt. I will leave a link to this spreadsheet. You can meddle with it and have your own predictions and stuff like that. I'll actually color in the predictions that are yellow, so it's easier to kind of differentiate them. So these are predictions. And 1 second, folks. Need not that. Where's the letter color? Here we go. These were actual offers, and these are also predictions. Where is the letter color? Right. So the ones that are in yellow are the predictions, and obviously the black ones are the actual offers. So you guys can make your own predictions, should you like to do so. And let me know what you think. And yeah, I will catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information